Picture this. Somewhere in the world right now, there's a golden box that could change everything we know about history. This isn't just any box. It's the most powerful religious artifact ever created. The Ark of the Covenant. For over 2,500 years, it's been missing. Gone. Vanished without a trace. But what if I told you that new evidence might finally reveal where it's been hiding all this time? What if the greatest treasure hunt in human history is about to come to an end? In the next few minutes, we're going to explore brand new discoveries that could solve the mystery once and for all. Evidence that some people don't want you to see. Clues that have been hidden in plain sight for centuries. And theories that will blow your mind. Are you ready to uncover the truth about the Ark of the Covenant? Then let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the Ark of the Covenant? Think of it like this. Imagine the most important treasure chest in the world, but instead of gold coins, it holds something far more valuable. The Ark was basically a wooden box covered in pure gold. It was about the size of a large coffee table. Roughly 4 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, and 2.5 feet tall. But here's what made it special. It wasn't just any box. According to ancient texts, God himself gave the exact blueprints for building it to Moses on Mount Sinai. Picture 2 golden angels on top, their wings spread out, facing each other. These weren't just decorations. They were called cherubim, and they were supposed to be guarding what was inside. And what was inside? The stone tablets with the 10 Commandments written by God's own finger. Plus Aaron's staff that miraculously grew flowers, and a jar of manna, the mysterious food that kept the Israelites alive in the desert. But the Ark wasn't just a storage container. Ancient people believed it was literally God's throne on earth. When the Israelites carried it into battle, they won every single time. When they crossed the Jordan River, the waters parted just like the Red Sea. When they marched around the walls of Jericho with the Ark, the walls came tumbling down. The power of this thing was supposedly so intense that if you touched it without permission, you'd die instantly. Remember Uzzah? He tried to steady the Ark when it was falling off a cart, and boom, struck dead on the spot. The Philistines captured it once, and their cities were hit with plagues until they sent it back with gold offerings. For about 400 years, the Ark sat in the Holy of Holies, the most sacred room in Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Only the high priest could enter this room, and only once a year. Everyone else? Keep your distance or face the consequences. Then, around 587 BC, something happened that changed everything. The Babylonians invaded Jerusalem, destroyed Solomon's temple, and took the Jewish people into exile. But here's the weird part. When they made their list of all the treasure they stole from the temple, the Ark wasn't on it. It was just gone. Think about it. The most important object in the entire Jewish faith, worth more than all the gold in the world, and it just vanished. No one knows where it went. No one knows who took it. It's like the Mona Lisa disappearing from the Louvre with no security footage, no witnesses, nothing. For over 2,500 years, people have been searching for it. Explorers, archaeologists, treasure hunters, even the Nazis during World War II, they all wanted to find it. Because whoever controls the Ark, according to legend, controls a direct connection to God himself. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if the Ark never actually disappeared? What if it's been hidden in plain sight this whole time, and we just haven't been looking in the right places? That's exactly what new evidence is starting to suggest. And the implications are absolutely mind-blowing. What do you think happened to the Ark? Drop your theories in the comments below. Did it get destroyed, hidden, or is it still out there waiting to be found? Here's where things get really wild. What if I told you that the Ark of the Covenant might be sitting right now in a small chapel in Ethiopia, guarded by a single monk who's never allowed to leave? Welcome to Aksum, Ethiopia, a place most people have never heard of, but which might be hiding the world's greatest treasure. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church has been claiming for over 1,000 years that they have the real Ark of the Covenant. Not a copy, not a replica. The actual Ark that Moses built in the desert. According to Ethiopian tradition, here's what happened. Remember the Queen of Sheba from the Bible? The one who visited King Solomon? Well, Ethiopians say she wasn't just visiting for tea and cookies. She had a son with Solomon, and his name was Menelik I. When Menelik grew up, he went to visit his father in Jerusalem. And when he left, he took the Ark with him back to Ethiopia. Now you might be thinking, come on, that sounds like a fairy tale. But hold on, there's more to this story than you might think. The Ethiopian book called the Kebra Nagast, which means Glory of the Kings, tells this whole story in detail. It's not just some random folk tale. It's been a core part of Ethiopian culture for centuries. Here's what makes this really interesting. The timing works out perfectly. The Queen of Sheba's visit to Solomon happened around 950 BC. The Ark disappeared around 587 BC. That's plenty of time for it to have been moved from Jerusalem to Ethiopia and hidden there. But here's the crazy part. In Aksum, there's a chapel called the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. And in this chapel, there's supposedly a room where the Ark is kept. Only one person in the entire world is allowed to see it. A monk called the Guardian. This guy is chosen for life, and once he becomes the Guardian, he never leaves the chapel grounds. Ever. He stays there until he dies, and then another monk takes his place. I know what you're thinking. If no one can see it, how do we know it's real? That's exactly the problem. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church refuses to let anyone examine it. No archaeologists, no historians, no scientists. They say it's too holy for outsiders to look at. But here's where new evidence comes in. Recent archaeological work in Ethiopia has uncovered some fascinating stuff. They've found ancient inscriptions that mention the Arkansas. They've discovered ruins that match descriptions of structures built to house it. And they found artifacts that seem to be connected to ancient Jewish practices in Ethiopia. Plus, Ethiopian Jews, called the Beta Israel, have been practicing Judaism in Ethiopia for thousands of years. How did Judaism get to Ethiopia so early? Maybe it came with the Ark itself. There's also this interesting detail. Ethiopian churches are built in a very specific way. They have a central area called the Holy of Holies, just like Solomon's temple. And in every Ethiopian church, there's a replica of the Ark called a tablet. Every single church has one. It's like the entire Ethiopian Orthodox Church was designed around the idea of housing the Ark. But wait, there's more. In the 1980s, a British journalist named Graham Hancock investigated this theory. He couldn't see the Ark itself, but he talked to people who claimed to have seen it. Their descriptions matched the biblical accounts perfectly. Golden box, cherubim on top, ancient Hebrew inscriptions. And here's something really weird. The Ethiopian government takes this claim seriously. They've built a special museum next to the chapel, and they guard the whole area like it's Fort Knox. Why would they do that for a fake? Recent satellite imaging has also revealed underground chambers beneath the church that have never been explored. What's down there? Nobody knows, but the Ethiopian church isn't letting anyone find out. The Ethiopian connection is getting stronger every year. New historical documents are being discovered. New archaeological evidence is being uncovered. And the Ethiopian church's story is becoming harder and harder to dismiss. Could the Ark really be sitting in a small chapel in Ethiopia, guarded by a monk who's sworn to secrecy? The evidence is more compelling than you might think. What's your take on the Ethiopia theory? Do you think the Ark could really be hidden in Africa after all these years? Let me know in the comments. But what if the Ark never left Jerusalem at all? What if it's been hiding right under our noses this whole time, buried deep beneath the Temple Mount? This theory is absolutely fascinating, and the evidence is growing stronger every day. Think about it. If you were a Jewish priest in 587 BC and you knew the Babylonians were coming to destroy your temple, what would you do with the most sacred object in your religion? You'd hide it somewhere safe, somewhere the invaders would never think to look. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem is one of the most archaeologically rich places on Earth. Layer upon layer of history is buried beneath the ground. Roman ruins, Byzantine structures, Islamic buildings, and underneath it all, the remains of Solomon's temple. But here's the problem. It's also one of the most politically sensitive places on Earth. The Temple Mount is now home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, two of Islam's holiest sites. Any excavation there is incredibly complicated. But that hasn't stopped people from trying. In 1981, a rabbi named Yehuda Getz was working on excavations near the Western Wall when he discovered something incredible. A sealed chamber beneath the Temple Mount. When he tried to explore it, he found evidence of ancient Jewish artifacts. But before he could investigate further, the discovery was sealed up by the Israeli government to avoid religious and political conflicts. Then there's the story of Ron Wyatt, an amateur archaeologist who claimed in the 1980s that he actually found the Arkansas. According to Wyatt, he was excavating near the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem when he discovered a cave system. Deep inside one of these caves, he said he found a stone case containing the Ark of the Covenant. He claimed he could see it through a crack in the stone but couldn't get to it because of fallen rocks. Now, most mainstream archaeologists dismiss Wyatt's claims. He never provided convincing evidence, and his story has a lot of holes. But here's what's interesting. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed extensive cave systems beneath Jerusalem that match his descriptions. Whether he found the Ark or not, there are definitely hidden chambers down there. More recently, the Temple Mount Sifting Project has been analyzing tons of dirt and debris that was removed from the Temple Mount during construction work. They've found thousands of artifacts spanning thousands of years. Ancient coins, pottery, jewelry, and religious objects. Each discovery proves that there's still so much history buried beneath Jerusalem. But here's where it gets really exciting. In 2019, archaeologists announced they had discovered what might be the remains of Solomon's temple itself. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar and 3D mapping technology, they've identified structures beneath the Temple Mount that match biblical descriptions perfectly. Large stone blocks, foundation walls, even what might be the Holy of Holies itself. And here's the crazy part. These same scans have revealed empty chambers deep beneath the Temple Mount. Chambers that are the perfect size to hide something like the Ark of the Covenant. The Israeli government knows about these chambers, but they're not allowing anyone to explore them. There's also this fascinating detail from the Talmud, ancient Jewish texts that describe what happened when the temple was about to be destroyed. According to these sources, the priests didn't just stand there and watch their most sacred objects get stolen. They hid them. The Talmud specifically mentions that the Ark was hidden in a secret chamber beneath the Temple Mount, along with other sacred objects. Some researchers believe that King Josiah, who ruled about 35 years before the Babylonian invasion, actually ordered the Ark to be hidden when he saw trouble coming. The Bible mentions that he told the priests to put the Ark back in the temple, but it doesn't say they put it in the Holy of Holies. What if they put it in a secret chamber beneath the temple instead? Modern technology is revealing more secrets every day. Thermal imaging shows temperature variations beneath the Temple Mount that suggest hollow spaces. Seismic surveys reveal underground structures that don't match any known buildings. And electromagnetic scans detect metallic objects buried deep in the bedrock. The Israeli government has been conducting secret excavations for decades. They've built extensive tunnels beneath the old city of Jerusalem, many of which run directly under the Temple Mount. What have they found down there? They're not telling anyone, but the fact that they keep digging suggests they're looking for something specific. Could the Ark of the Covenant be sitting in a chamber beneath Jerusalem, waiting to be rediscovered? The evidence is compelling, and the technology to find it is getting better every year. What do you think about the Jerusalem theory? Could the Ark really be hidden beneath the Temple Mount? Share your thoughts in the comments. Here's where our story takes a dark turn. Did you know that the Nazis were obsessed with finding the Ark of the Covenant? This isn't just movie fiction. It's historical fact. And their search might have uncovered clues that we're only now beginning to understand. Heinrich Himmler, one of the most powerful Nazis, created a special organization called the Ahnenerbe, which means ancestral heritage. Their job was to find archaeological evidence that would support Nazi racial theories. But they had a secret mission too: find powerful ancient artifacts that could give Germany supernatural advantages in the war. The Nazis sent expeditions all over the world. Tibet, Egypt, Iraq, and yes, even Ethiopia and Jerusalem. They were looking for anything that might give them an edge, and the Ark of the Covenant was at the top of their list. They believed that whoever controlled it would have God's power on their side. In 1938, the Nazis sent a team to Ethiopia under the cover of a scientific expedition. Officially, they were studying local customs and wildlife. But recently discovered documents reveal their real mission. They were looking for the Arkansas. They spent months in Aksum, the exact place where Ethiopians claim the Ark is hidden. What did they find? The records are mysteriously incomplete, but they left Ethiopia suddenly and never returned. Around the same time, Nazi teams were excavating in Jerusalem. They had a special interest in the Temple Mount area and the caves beneath the city. Some of these excavations were documented, but others were done in secret. When Allied forces captured Nazi archives after the war, they found detailed maps of underground Jerusalem and references to the sacred container. But here's where it gets really interesting. After the war, many Nazi scientists and archaeologists were quietly recruited by different countries through programs like Operation Paperclip. Some of these people had been involved in the ARK searches. Did they share what they learned? Did they continue their research under new flags? There are rumors that the Nazis actually found something. Not necessarily the ARK itself, but clues to its location. Some researchers believe that Nazi expeditions discovered ancient documents that pointed to specific hiding places. These documents might have been seized by the Allies and classified as top secret. Fast forward to modern times, and we're seeing an explosion of new evidence and theories. Advanced satellite technology is revealing hidden structures all over the world. Ground-penetrating radar is finding chambers that have been sealed for thousands of years. And computer analysis of ancient texts is uncovering clues that previous generations missed. In 2020, archaeologists in Israel announced they had discovered a 2,000-year-old synagogue with inscriptions that mention the Ark of the Covenant. The inscriptions describe it being hidden until the time of restoration. This is the first archaeological evidence that ancient Jews believed the Ark was hidden rather than destroyed. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, new carbon dating techniques are being applied to artifacts in and around the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. While the Ethiopian Church still won't allow direct examination of their claimed Ark, they have allowed testing of associated objects. Some of these artifacts are indeed ancient enough to be connected to the original Ark. There's also exciting development in Jerusalem. The Israeli government has begun using advanced AI to analyze thousands of ancient texts and documents. This computer analysis is finding patterns and connections that human scholars missed. References to the Ark's hiding place are appearing in texts that were previously thought to be unrelated. Private expeditions are also making discoveries. In 2021, a team of American archaeologists claimed to have found evidence of ancient Jewish settlements in remote parts of Jordan that might be connected to the Ark's journey. They discovered pottery shards with Hebrew inscriptions mentioning the sacred vessel and the covenant of God. But perhaps the most exciting development is happening in underwater archaeology. New sonar technology is revealing shipwrecks and underwater ruins that could be connected to the Ark's disappearance. Some researchers believe the Ark might have been transported by ship to a completely different location that we haven't even considered yet. The Vatican has also been releasing previously classified documents from their archives. Some of these documents contain references to expeditions and searches for the Ark throughout history. Medieval knights, Renaissance explorers, and modern treasure hunters have all left paper trails that are being analyzed with fresh eyes. Even space technology is getting involved. Satellite imagery is so advanced now that it can detect underground structures and temperature variations that might indicate hidden chambers. Some researchers are using this technology to map potential Ark hiding places around the world. The search for the Ark of the Covenant has never been more high-tech or more promising. With new evidence emerging constantly and technology advancing rapidly, we might be closer to solving this ancient mystery than ever before. What's your theory? Do you think new technology will finally reveal the Ark's location? Let me know what you think in the comments. So where does all this evidence lead us? After diving deep into the Ethiopian connection, the Jerusalem underground, and the Nazi expeditions, one thing is clear: the Ark of the Covenant is more than just an ancient legend. It's a real historical artifact that disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and the clues to finding it are scattered across the globe. The Ethiopian theory has compelling cultural and historical evidence, but lack of access makes it hard to verify. The Jerusalem underground theory is supported by archaeological discoveries and ancient texts, but political complications make excavation nearly impossible. And the Nazi connection shows us that the search for the Ark has always been about more than just history. It's about power. But here's what really excites me. We're living in the golden age of archaeological discovery. Every year brings new technology, new evidence, and new possibilities. Satellite imaging, ground-penetrating radar, AI analysis of ancient texts, and underwater archaeology are all opening doors that were closed for previous generations. The truth is out there, and I believe we're going to find it in our lifetime. Whether it's hidden in an Ethiopian chapel, buried beneath Jerusalem, or waiting in some completely unexpected location, the Ark of the Covenant will eventually be found. What do you think? Are you Team Ethiopia, Team Jerusalem, or do you have a completely different theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your ideas. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries, smash that like button and subscribe for more content like this. We're always uncovering new evidence and exploring the world's most fascinating unsolved puzzles. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload, and check out our playlist on ancient mysteries for more mind-blowing content. Trust me, once you start going down these rabbit holes, you won't be able to stop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep searching for the truth.